The fourth international conference on financing gets underway in Spain today. The conference will focus on issues such as the transformation of the financial architecture, financing of sustainable development goals, as well as climate change. The United States of America will not attend this conference. More than 60 heads of state and government are expected to attend, though. SABC News international editor Sophie Mokoena joins us now to talk about this conference and also the fact that our President Cyril Ramaphosa won't be attending there either. So talk to us, Sophie, talk to us about the importance of it and our President missing it.
I think the conference is quite important, particularly at this time where the United Nations is trying to engage member states to ensure that there's transformation of the United Nations, but also the agencies and structures of the UN, including the financial architect, as you pointed out, the transformation of the World Bank and the IMF. As you know, that these institutions were established after the Second World War with the intention of rebuilding, and at that time, not so many countries were members or founding members of the United Nations, but now you have more countries, particularly from the developing world. But when you look at how institutions such as the IMF and World Bank are operating, they are more geared to help the developed nations. Even the contribution, you expect those countries to put more money. Of course, the developing nations and poorer nations don't have money. And therefore, as you talk about the transformation of these institutions, you have to engage member states. And this conference will look at the financial system, the global financial system. But secondly, issues of climate change. You know that you need funding to address issues of climate change. And lastly, the sustainable development goals. That is why early this year, the UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohamed was in South Africa to consult President Ramaphosa about this summit and to try and have synergy between the G20 and this summit, but also in terms of what the UN is doing. And also the Secretary General, you know, last year, and I spoke to both of them, exclusive interviews on their visit here where they were consulting the president. So quite a very important meeting. Unfortunately, President Ramaphosa couldn't go because of the national politics, and it was unfortunate because as the president of the G20, it was quite important for him to be there, because all these developed countries that are supposed to respond to the agenda of the summit are part of the G20, and therefore as the president of the G20, he's able to pull together what came out of the summit and what's likely to be on the agenda of the G20 for heads of state and government later this year. But unfortunately, he couldn't attend. Many people feel that he should have gone to Spain, but the ANC is saying that he had to be at home because of the challenges of one of the GNU partners. And it was quite unfortunate because it turned out to be just something that didn't even amount to anything, pulling out of dialogue. Dialogue was announced by civil society, not government. It's a process led by ordinary people, and therefore that wasn't a major announcement.
Yeah, all right. So do we know who's going to be leading this delegation now that the president's not going?
Yeah, the Minister of International Relations had to step in, and I think also the Minister of Finance will be there because you are going to discuss the financial system.
All right. The US also saying that they won't be there. But let's quickly, before I let you go, talk to what's happening on the 6th and 7th. That, of course, is the BRICS summit. We got news that the Russian President, Vladimir Putin, will not be attending. Also got news that China's Xi Jinping won't be attending because the Prime Minister will be going. No reason given as to why the President won't go. But, of course, the Russian President trying to avoid arrest, all of that because of that international warrant of arrest out for him. Will we be attending? Because sure, big leaders for the first time not attending the summit, the BRICS summit. What's
Well,
going
based
on
on what's happening in the country, I don't know. We will wait for the presidency to issue a statement to confirm the president's participation at the BRICS summit. But earlier on, we were told that he will go to Spain and perhaps come back and then go to BRICS, because it's quite an important one. Particularly, you know that the relationship between South Africa and Brazil are quite strong, and South Africa would want to support Brazil. In terms of China, Xi Jinping is not going. We are told that it has to do with the tension between China and India, and the fact that there are concerns from the Chinese delegation in terms of the arrangements as it relates to a special dinner that was arranged or has been arranged for India. Of course, with Russia, you are correct. It has to do with the warrant of arrest by the ICC. You know, he couldn't even attend here in South Africa. But Sergei Lavrov, as you know, that as a foreign affairs minister, he was in South Africa. He will definitely represent Russia at this meeting. But there will be concerns in terms of what's happening within the BRICS family.
All right, we leave it there. Sophie Mokoena, thank you, updating us on two very important big international stories that are taking this place taking place this week. Let me try again. And remember that, of course, that BRICS summit, the group has expanded now. And of course, you've got Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Indonesia, and the UAE now joining. They're also part of the group. But partners are Bolivia, Kazakhstan, Cuba, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Uganda, and Uzbekistan. So it really is a growing force. So we'll keep an eye on that particular gathering.